In Venezuela, citizens continue to go to the polls in the final hours of an historic referendum for the defense of the Essequibo Territory. President Nicolás Maduro marked the beginning of the voting day a few minutes after the opening of the polling stations. The Venezuelan head of state assured that the country has an electoral system that guarantees the easy participation of the people and the problems are solved through constitutional means. For his part, the president of the Venezuelan National Electoral Council, Elvis Amoroso, highlighted the installation of polling stations and reiterated the call to participate in this process. Throughout the day, citizens described the electoral process as quick and simple. Opposition leaders who also voted insisted that this is a time to put aside political differences. The Venezuelan people participate in the 7th referendum and the 30th vote in 24 years. With enthusiasm and great patriotic commitment, the people of Venezuela come to exercise their right to vote in a consultative referendum to self-determination in the defense of their sovereignty and for the territory of the Essequibo.
The electoral centers of Venezuela were installed at 6 in the morning, being the President of the Republic, Nicolás Maduro, the first to exercise his right to vote.
Today we await the voice of the people of Venezuela, the full exercise of sovereignty with a single flag, the tricolor and the 8 stars including the star of our Guyana.
The head of state recalled that Venezuela has one of the most reliable, fast and simple electoral systems to use worldwide.
It is a process with the Venezuelan electoral system. It is a safe, guaranteed, reliable, and also very simple, very easy process where our country is deciding a truly historic position. I don't know if there will be another country in the world that has consulted a subject of the importance that is being consulted in Venezuela and has delivered it in the hands of the men or women standing. I don't know a precedent of this.
After the process began, the principal rector of the National Electoral Council, Elvis Amoroso, formed the installation of almost 100% of the voting table and recalled that the consultative referendum seeks to solve the discussion on the Essequibo Territory.
It is a consultative referendum on a situation we want to resolve ourselves Venezuelans, and so we will do today, as is our Guyana, and where all Venezuelans will participate to make the absolute decision on this issue.
At the same time, the President of the Parliament, Jorge Rodriguez, extended a call to the citizens to consolidate the historic claim of Venezuela on the territory of the Essequibo.
We want to insist to all our people, to the women and men of Venezuela, that today is a day for unity. Today is a day for the historic claim of Venezuela to defend its Guyana Essequibo. In the past, each time they attacked Venezuelans' territorial reality, we were in the circumstances that Venezuela was divided. Today we have to give a demonstration of unity, a demonstration of force, demonstration of courage and democratic expression.
And under an atmosphere of national unity, the leadership of the political opposition called the Venezuelan people to meet in the democratic consultation and express their support for their territorial demand.
To reaffirm that national project that unites us to all Venezuelans without distinction of political color. Today is a day of democracy because it is a day when we are consulted. We fought hard and we have fought hard to be consulted on public matters. And today, of course, that we are being consulted would be a crackpot so to put yourself in an attack of anger and not come to vote. The things that unite us, Jose Gregorio Hernandez unite us, the Vino Tinto unite us, the Arepa unite us, and the defense of the territory unite us. The team is all Venezuela. It is Lame, it is Yaracuy, it is Aragua, it is Monaction, it is not from the opposition and is not from the government. It belongs to all Venezuelans, and that's why one of the ways to exercise your defense is to vote. My call is to those who have not yet come to us, because it is always good to be aware that one did something for the defense of the territory.
The Venezuelan people advanced in the deposit of their vote in a coherent manner and with the national vision of ratifying their support for the sovereign defense of Guyana Essequibo.
On December 3rd, Venezuelans go to the polls to vote in a referendum of dispute over the Essequibo Territory, which consists of 5 questions. What is the context of the second question of this consultative referendum? Let's review another episode in defense of the Guyana Essequibo. With more details, Madelein Garcias.
What is the context that led to the formulation of the second question of the consultative referendum of December 3rd in defense of the Guyana Essequibo? We continue telling you in this teleSUR's special series. After signing the fraudulent 1899 Paris Award, one of the U.S. lawyers who defended Venezuela in the trial left a will, which he authorized to be published after his death, confessing everything, the fraud. It was a pact between U.S. and the United Kingdom. I quote a part of will of Severo Mallet Prevost. The decision of the court was therefore unanimous, but also it is true that I gave Venezuela the most important sector in dispute from a strategic point of view. It was unfair to Venezuela and deprived of our very large and important territory over the Great Britain had not the slightest right. This is a critical testimony, so that in 1962, Venezuela denounced to the United Nations the fraud of the Paris Arbitration Award of 1899, which was and is null and void for Venezuela.
In 1966, the United Nations accepted our proposal to reach an agreement, forcing England and Guyana to negotiate, Guyana as the subsequent inheritor of the territory that we are claiming. But from 1962, England sat down with us for 4 years, which was an implicit recognition of the invalidity and nullity of the treaty, of the Paris arbitration, and therefore a new era started. What is Venezuela claiming? Let's sit down to negotiate in a practical and mutually convenient resolution for both sides.
The Geneva Agreement became the evidence of a felony. If the Paris Arbitration Award of 1899 had not been so fraudulent, the United Kingdom will never have signed it.
Yes, the 1899 arbitration award is not only null and void due to the nullity defects that took place during its negotiation and process, which we must remember also violated the disposition that had been agreed in the Treaty of Washington of 1897, but also because of signing an agreement by both sides in the city of Geneva precisely in February 1966. Even when British Guyana was under British colony, because they had already assumed not only the null and void character of this agreement, but also for the legal effects after the implementation of this agreement. Furthermore, the 1899 arbitration award was never executed, and therefore it was also ruled out. In fact, it was surprising how the International Court of Justice did not pronounce on the null and void nature of this 1899 arbitration site, which today Guyana intends to revitalize before the international legal instances, precisely because of its unfair and unenforceable nature.
Historically, the Geneva Agreement of 1966 is the only valid international legal instrument for Venezuela to solve the controversy through dialogue, which Guyana is now turning back on, perpetuating the history of dispossession by ex-colonizer. The reason? ExxonMobil's interest in the resources there, announced with bombs and fireworks in the marine territory that has yet to be demarcated. For Venezuela, dialogue is essential to solve the dispute and maintain peace in the region. For these reasons, Venezuelans are asked, do you support the Geneva Agreement of 1966 as the only valid legal instrument to reach practical and satisfactory solution for Venezuela and Guyana regarding the controversy over the territory of Guyana Essequibo? See you next time.
Nos vemos en una próxima entrega.